Hey guys, it's Kaylee. I am back with another What Sold From Last Week video. I'll be sharing with you all of my sales numbers on all of the platforms that I sold on. And spoiler alert, I did have a really great week, so I actually have a lot of highlighted sales to show you so that you can know some things to be on the lookout for while you are outsourcing. But before we get into what sold from last week, I did want to share with you the winner of the giveaway from last week's video. So this giveaway was for reaching 1,000 subscribers, which I definitely could not have done without you guys. And to get back, I wanted to do a giveaway box of 5 items that you can either keep for yourself or resell. I did feature those items in the last video, which was a haul video, if you want to go back and see the kind of things that I'm giving out. I asked you guys in order to enter to make sure that you were subscribed and then leaving a comment down on the video to let me know your best reseller tip that you have ever heard that has made the biggest difference in your sales. You guys left some really great comments, and if you guys watching want, some advice or to hear some really great bits of wisdom, go to that video. I will link it somewhere up here and just read through all of those comments. There are some really good stuff in there, and I will probably save all those comments and reread them from time to time and make sure I'm following all of those advice. So I chose a random comment from that video, and we are going to get into the winner now. Okay guys, so we are going to start with the random comment picker. I am doing this drawing on November 2nd at 10:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if your comment has been posted anytime before that, you are entered into the drawing, and if your comment is anywhere past that time, you are not entered in. So I am going to use this random comment picker. I have tested this, so I know that it works. We're going to paste our YouTube link. We are not going to include replies, and we are not going to allow duplicates. Okay, so Jenabelle Shop, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct, said, just take a quick minute to look up comps on items not familiar with, especially when you touch the fabrics with substantial feel to it. That is an excellent tip, and that is also how I learn different brands that I'm not familiar with. So congratulations, Jenabelle. What I'm going to do is comment on your comment on YouTube and give you a few instructions on how you can redeem your box. So congratulations and thank you to everybody that participated in the giveaway, and hopefully as time goes on I will continue doing more giveaways, so keep your eye out for that and make sure that you are subscribed. Okay guys, so we are going to be looking at all the sales from October 25th through the 31st. That would be a Sunday through a Saturday. So in total, I sold 67 items for a gross sales total of $2,437.66, making my average sale price $36.38, which is just about where I want to be. This is where I was at this time last year, and it's taken me a while to get back to this, but I am happy that we're between $30 and $40, and I'm going to try and stay in that average sale price range. My total cost of goods for everything sold last week was $332.35. I sold 33 items on eBay and 34 on Poshmark, so they were pretty neck and neck. Gross sales on eBay was almost $1,300, and then on Poshmark it was almost $1,200. So I didn't have any other sales on any other platforms or any direct sales. It was just eBay and Poshmark this week. Now let's jump in to some highlighted sales. This vintage Coca-Cola tin with some stationery papers in it. Unique find for me because I actually picked this up at the only estate sale that I went to, and I didn't get a ton of stuff there, but I did find these really cool old Coca-Cola stuff. It seemed like they collected them. This one still had the stationery paper inside, which is why I picked it up. They only charged me 5 cents, which I thought was pretty cool, and I ended up selling this for $40. I had it listed very high because I didn't know what it would sell for, so I just listed it at $85 with offers turned on. I have been sitting on this for a little while, but I figured I would because it is a more unique item. Someone offered me $40 and I went ahead and accepted. Okay, this next one is by the brand Johnston. Here is the brand tag. Now, I was not very familiar with this brand, but whenever I find really nice cashmere pieces, I usually look up the brand with the word cashmere when I'm doing comps, because there are a lot of brands that are higher end that sell cashmere pieces that you might not be aware of until you look them up. And so this was the case for this item. It felt like really nice quality. It was a really pretty pink color. Also had that cable knit detail all over and was more of a tunic length. So without even looking at the brand, I probably would have picked up this piece. But when I did comps for this specific brand, it turned out to be a really great item. And this actually goes back to the winning comment of the giveaway, which is when you come across really nice fabrics or something that feels good to the touch. If you're unfamiliar with the brand, go ahead and look it up. So this one I had listed at $84.99 and I accepted an offer of $75. This sold really quickly. This next piece was by Torrid. This sold really quickly as well. This is just a Union Jack sweater, Union Jack being the graphic on the front there. And I had this listed for $24.99 and I sent out offer swatchers and it sold for $22.49. I really love picking up Torrid. Albits, which is a brand I don't normally pick up, but this had quite a few things going for it. So it was made out of wool. It was a tweed-like fabric and it had these faux leather pockets and it was full zip. So all those factors included, I thought it was a quality piece and I gave it a shot. I had this listed for $34.99. It ended up selling in a bundle for about $30. I also sold these Madewell Jeans slip-on sandals, which is funny because it's kind of cold out right now, but I picked these up because they were Madewell and they felt like quality. The style was called the Thea Jeans slip-on sandals, and I noticed that these were doing pretty well, particularly when they are in the black color. So I had this one listed for $34.99 and they sold at $31.49. This is another brand I don't pick up all the time, but when it is in quality fabrics and a nice design, I will give it a shot because it can do well, and the brand is Banana Republic. This is a merino wool alpaca blend turtleneck oversized women's sweater. It also had some ribbing detail, which is pretty popular right now. And for all of those reasons, I picked this up. And I had this listed at $32, sent out offers, and someone accepted for $28.80. And this sold very, very quickly. I also sold this Michael Kors Monogram Satchel Doctor Bag. I actually picked this up in a bins-like setting, so I paid only a couple bucks for it. It was kind of like a fill-a-bag sale. And I had this listed at $48.99 and it did sell for full price. This was kind of an older style, but I find with Michael Kors that when it is all monogrammed like that, the MK everywhere, that it tends to do pretty well. Pendleton is a brand that I love picking up. This one is just a poncho, but it wasn't wool or anything like that. I believe it was all cotton. It was called combed cotton. So this is a one-size-fits-all women's poncho, and even though it's not wool, which is what Pendleton is known for in their pieces, because it had a very Western or Southwestern-like design, those pieces are also, regardless of material, really popular in Pendleton. And so for that reason I picked this up. I had this listed at $49.99 and it ended up selling for $44.99. Very, very quick sale. I've got a few belts to show you today. I sold a good handful over the last few days. So this is the brand Nakona, which they make kind of Western-like belts is what they seem to be known for, is the brand. And this was a tooled leather belt with some rhinestone details all around. Whenever Western stuff's really blingy like that, I look for it in belts. So I had this one listed at $39.19 and it sold on an offer for $35.27. This is just kind of a bread and butter piece, but I wanted to throw that in there because I like showing you guys pieces that you might come across often. And these are the Wrangler flannel shirt jackets. Whenever I come across these, I tend to pick them up. They don't look like anything special, and oftentimes they're pretty worn in. This one just had a collar, but normally I am picking up the ones with hoods is what I come across most often. So keep your eye out for kind of shirt, jacket, plaid chore shirts. And this is a J-Gel women's sweater. I try to pick up the more unique pieces in J-Gel. Here is the tag for this one. I sold this one actually through an international sale through the global shipping program. And I put Thanksgiving in the title because I thought that the colors really represented fall and the holiday that's coming up. I sold this Eileen Fisher women's organic cotton sweater. This is a more modern piece, and it was also new with tags, so it was really, really easy to look up the style name and all the material and everything going on with this sweater. So I had this one listed at $49.99, and it did sell at full price. Here's another bread and butter for me. This is by Levi's, and I love looking up men's Levi jeans because even though they might only sell for 25 bucks, they're super, super easy to look up because the style name, which is usually a number, is always on the back leather patch. So you can see these ones were the 541 jeans, and the size is also on the back as well. So I looked that up. These sold on an offer to watchers for $22.49. Here is another Pendleton piece. This one is kind of along the same lines of the shirt jackets. This one was made of wool, and it would have sold for a lot more. However, after getting it home, I noticed that there were a couple of holes along the back that I didn't notice before. So I ended up having to reduce the amount I was selling it for. So I had it listed for $29.99. It did sell very quickly at full price, so maybe I could have gotten more even with the holes, but I did want to reduce price just for those. This is a great brand to look for, and I've been finding several of their pieces lately, and in particular when they have alpaca in them, they do even better. So the brand is Peruvian Connection. And this is a beautiful alpaca cardigan sweater, super soft, and I really liked the modern style of this with the Nordic print. This sold very quickly. I had it listed at $49.99, and it ended up selling on an offer for $44.99. I sold this halogen top, which I picked up because of its beautiful draping. And this one I had listed for $29.99. It ended up selling on an offer for $26.99. I picked up this express dress a while back simply because it was new with tags, and I thought it was pretty modern with the square neck and the sparkly metallic threads in it. So mainly because it was new with tags, and new with tag stuff does tend to sell pretty well during this time of the year as people are buying this stuff for gifts. So I had this listed at $29.99, and it ended up selling on an offers to watchers for $26.99. I sold this Bowden women's corduroy dress, which kind of was an older looking style, but when I looked up Bowden corduroy dresses, the sell-through rate was there, so I picked it up. This one had kind of like a peacock print to it. I had this one listed for $29.99, and it did sell at full price very, very quickly. I sold this fossil belt, which had a little bit of wear, but I picked it up for the brand and for the buckle detail, which had a little bit of rhinestones in it, and it did end up selling at full price at $24.99. Here is another Talbot's piece that I picked up again for quality. This was a double-breasted 100% worsted wool red blazer slash jacket. I have this listed at $39.99, and it did sell at full price. This is an LL Bean vintage women's wool snowflake sweater. I thought this kind of went with that granny core theme, and I have had it for a little while, but it did end up selling at full price at $40. Silver Sookie slim boot jeans. I basically pick up silver regardless of style and regardless of size as long as it's in good condition, and it usually sells between $30 and $40 for me. So this one I have listed at $39.99 and it did sell at full price very, very quickly, so keep your eye out for silver jeans. I sold this Free People thermal shirt with the interesting cuff details, which I've talked about before. But the buyer has not paid yet. They bought it a few days ago, so I don't know, you might see this come up. I'll just relist it because I did have eyes on all the other platforms, so it probably would have sold quickly anyways, even if that buyer hadn't purchased it. But I did want to show you this in case they do end up paying, that these Free People thermal shirts with the cuff details are really hot. This one in particular was called the Motor Button Cuff. And I found that out just by searching the sold comps and saw some other people had this. I made this my cover photo just to stand out a little bit, and it ended up selling on an offer for $67.50. Alright, and I have been sitting on this for good solid maybe 6 months. I picked this up during the shutdown on online arbitrage, and I picked this up off of eBay from a seller. So I paid up for this. I think I might have paid somewhere between $15 and $20 for this. This is an Arata Silent Journey, and the style name was called the Lace Revoirs Cardigan. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Here is the tag. It was technically new with tags. As you can see in the cover photo, it had the tag right here. And this style was sold out online. I thought it was really unique and interesting. Although it did take some time to sell, it did end up selling for $78, which I was really happy with. And this is just a bread and butter piece for me. This is a men's sweatshirt with the Volcom logo on it. Definitely not a brand I seek out for, but sweatshirts with brand logos on them do very well for me. So this ended up selling for $24. This was probably my favorite sale. I paid, I think, $15 for this at a thrift store. I don't know why they didn't price it higher. They must not have known what they had, but this was a Madewell leather jacket, which, by the way, these do very, very well, especially when they're in this like motorcycle style. So this one I listed, I think, around $215, and I ended up selling with a buyer for $175. And I actually ended up purchasing some stuff from the buyer in Madewell, and we came to an agreement that if she would give me a discount on the bundle I had in her store, then I would give her the discount on this jacket, and that's kind of how we worked it out. So this ended up selling for $175. Had I not been making that deal, I probably would have sold this for about $200. This is a Carhartt women's jacket. Carhartt is really popular, not just for utility purposes, but fashion-wise, a lot of people are picking up Carhartt because they like the look of this. So this sold very quickly. This is just a women's red canvas jacket, which was fleece lined, and this sold for $40. Another belt, I picked this up because of the moon and sun, like celestial theme, which does pretty well for me in lots of things. This ended up selling for $27 simply because of the style. This brand is XCVI, which seems to be a really good brand. I'll show you the brand tag. And this was just a soft blue utility jacket. It even had a little bit of fading, which I noted in the description. And because of that fading, I priced this a little lower at $35, but I must have priced right because it did end up selling. This is a logo by Lori Goldstein women's tunic top. I talk about these all the time, but they do sell well for me pretty consistently, so I usually pick them up when they have some interesting details. This sold for $25. This is a Torrid Distress Cold Shoulder sweatshirt. This sold very, very quickly at $25. I talk about Torrid a lot, but in particular, distressed sweaters in any brand sell very well for me right now. This is a Columbia jacket, which I did pay up for. I think I paid $25 for this, and I have been sitting on it, but it was new with tags, and it was called the Coil Eagles Call jacket, and it was waterproof. Even though I did sit on this, it ended up selling for $75, which I'm really happy with. Here's a pair of Madewell jeans, which Madewell jeans, when they are in the skinny style, do very, very well, and they flip almost within days. So I had these priced pretty fairly, and they ended up selling for $45. These are a pair of women's Minnetonka boots, which I've stopped picking up because their regular Minnetonka stuff doesn't sell for a lot, and it seems to be quite oversaturated. However, these ones were made out of real rabbit fur, so I went ahead and picked them up for the quality. These ones sold for $44. And here's another J. Jill item, which you can see has been pretty consistent for me. I picked this up because it was a linen blend floral sweater, and it ended up selling for $26. I did have one bundle sale, which I enjoy showing you guys the bundles because I think it's important to know how much of a discount I'm giving out if somebody is doing bundles. So this whole bundle sold for $115, and it had 4 items in it: a Chico's caftan top, a Maurice's Western print sweater, which I picked up for less than $1 at a stuff-a-bag sale, an Ungi Bohemian zip jacket, and then a Woolrich, pretty unique wool parka jacket. This is a Lululemon women's active scuba hoodie, which I kind of just know the style of this now because I've picked them up a couple times. Whenever I see them, I do pick them up. This one sold very quickly at $36. This is a pair of men's jeans by BKE, which is sold at Buckle. Regardless of style, I usually pick these up when they are in men's because they do very, very well. And they're usually selling between $40 and $50. This one in particular was the style Jake, and it sold for $40. And last one is the sweater by Folk by Hansrefro Basil. I don't know how to pronounce it. I should show you the tag. This brand is sold at Anthropologie, and I originally picked it up because it was a cotton wool blend. The tag seemed expensive, and I liked the unique ruffle sleeves. Here's the tag. If you see it in sweaters and good materials, I do think that it is worth picking up. This sweater sold for $35. Alright guys, so that is the end of today's What Sold video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Drop a comment down below and let me know how your sales are going for you this past week. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.